Hello, you're welcome back. So it's time for part 6 of our creative agency website design series in Figma. In the last video, we designed the About Us page. We did the desktop and the mobile version of the About Us page. But in this video, we are going to be working on the project page, and we are also going to be working on the project preview page. And we're not just going to do the desktop, we're going to do both the desktop and the mobile responsiveness of the project page and the project preview page. And we are going to try as much as possible to keep everything clean, modern, and consistent with our previous designs. So without wasting any more time, let's dive right into what we are going to be doing today. Let's keep building our agency website. So I'm just going to zoom in and then push this. The distance should be 200, and then I'm going to rename this to works. And then I'm going to delete all this because we're not going to need them. Or I might as well just leave the contacts. The contact us. Oh, and I deleted it. Okay, I'm just going to uncheck the contact us. Now for the hero section, we're just going to use exactly this, but I'm just going to make like a little edit to it. And mind you, there's a difference between this particular page and the section we have there. It's just that I don't want to add more works to this, but let's say now the agency has like a large library of works. Obviously, it's going to be longer than this. So, but I don't want to stretch this tutorial too much. I just want everything to just be pretty much straightforward. That's why I won't be adding any more project to this. So, I'm going to change this to 140 here. So, or we can just change it to clients projects, and then we're going to change this to our work showcase. All right, now that we have this, I'm not going to be editing anything here. Let's see how that looks. Although I'll have to change this first. Let's go over to prototype and quickly change this to no device. Then I'm just going to, not preview. I want to present this. All right, so this is what we currently have. So this is our works, and then we have like the large contact us button. So this is like a read more button in case there are like more projects to view. All right, so this is not going to waste so much time because we're just going to start working on the mobile version for this. So, and then next up is the preview. So I'm going to make this should be like 100 from this, and I'm going to call this work preview. So, and these works that we have here, probably I'm just going to change it to like projects. And then, wow, I'm not supposed to edit this from here. So I'm just going to the main component and edit this. So I'm just going to go to main components and edit that. So I'm just going to change this to a project. Let me quickly select this and then go back to instance. All right, so now that we have this, the next thing we're just going to work on is this. So we already have something close to this. So I'm just going to select this, copy this, and then I'll just paste this inside of here. And then let's go over to the project showcase. Let me just copy this entire, this entire section and paste it inside of here. And let me see the distance we gave this. So it was 140 also. So I'm going to copy this too and paste inside of this. And then this is just going to be, from the top, is just going to be 140 also. All right, so this is what we currently have. And then I'm just going to draw this down here and add auto layout to this. And then I'm going to select I'm going to change this to projects. All right, so we're just going to edit the text. So I'm just going to copy this and then paste it inside of here. Paste to replace, and then change it to mobile. And then we're going to change this to fill also. So this is what we currently have. And I think that's that for that. So one more thing, I'm just going to duplicate this project so I can add, oh no. So we're just going to change the layout to to vertical. And now I'm going to duplicate this and then copy this and then select this, paste to replace, and then change this to mobile, please. And this should be fixed, not hog. The width of any frame you select for your breakpoint, maybe you select a frame for the desktop or the mobile, or maybe you're working on tablet, make sure that that frame is always on fixed width. So the only thing that should be adjustable or placed on hog or fill can be, even fill is not allowed. Just use hog and fixed, either hog or fixed. So the only thing, so fixed, the width is always going to be fixed, and then the height is always going to be hog if you want your frame to be responsive. So okay, there's one more thing that we've not added, so I'm just going to bring this over here and copy this and then come over here and duplicate this, paste to replace, and move it to the top. So I think I noticed something. I noticed that there's a gap of 10, which we don't want. I'm just quickly going to remove that gap from this. So we're going to change this to 0. I don't need any gap there. All right, so this is what we currently have. And now shortly, the next thing we're just going to create is like the preview. So I need to have like enough space so that we can differentiate which is which. And so I'm just going to select this and change this to probably like spacing of 500. Well, let's just keep it at 300. I think 400 looks better, or 500. Yeah, 500 looks better. So the space is very, very visible. So why I'm adding much space like that is so that if what we are, is because of what we are designing next. What we are going to be designing next is a preview. So once a user clicks on a particular project, what will appear? So that's the next thing we are going to be designing. So to design that, I'm just going to duplicate this about page because it's almost the same layout with the about page, although it just has like a few differences. I think I named this wrongly, so this should be work mobile, and this is works, and this should be work preview. All right, so now that we have this, I'm going to start working on the work preview right now. The first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to start with creating something like this. So I'm going to copy this and paste to replace, then change this to the project title. So the project title is supposed to go here, which is like Noble Exchange, which is brand identity. And this, I'm thinking of reducing this to like 32. And then I want us to have some tags here. So I'm going to paste this here. And then I'm going to detach this because this is going to be a tag. And I'm going to duplicate this, select both of this, and add auto layout to it, change the layout to horizontal, and we can leave it at 20 gap, the gap of 20. So I'm going to name this, what I'm going to name this is tags. So this is more like acting like tags. So I'm going to call this tag, and I'm going to call this also tag. So I'm going to select this and add auto layout to this and change it to horizontal layout. Then I'm going to change the entire thing to auto so that it can stretch exactly. Then I want to have like 3 tags here. So the first one is going to be visual identity, and we're going to reduce the sizes soon. Logo, design, and this is going to be branding. All right, so I'm going to select this and change this to 12, and this should be like medium. All right, so one more thing, I want this to be like the gap should be 12, not 20. 20 looks too much. So now that we have this, I'm just going to put like project title plus tags. All right, so that's the first thing. Now we are done with the first thing. So we are now going to add like a kind of like divider. So I'm going to cut this divider and paste it inside of here, move it to the top, and then our stroke color, we're still going to give it like our stroke color, and then I'm going to duplicate it because I want it to be in 2 places. So the only thing I'm going to copy is just the button. I'm going to paste the button inside here and change this to our primary button. And then we're going to activate the right icon, and then I'm going to change the arrow to this, and then the content is going to be view live projects. So you can also turn off this button if you don't need it. Basically, it's just there in case you also have like a website. You know, this agency is not just working on brand identity guidelines. Let's say they did a website for a client and they want to reference that website. So after looking at some screens from their project's preview, then the user can now click to now view the live website that has been published or has been completed. So that's the main reason for that. So I'm just going to select this and drop this here. And the first thing is client. And then we're going to duplicate this also and add the name of the client, which is like Noble Exchange. So now this, I'm going to change this to medium, and then I'm going to change this to our gray text. Then I'll select this and this and add auto layout to it, change the direction to horizontal, and then I think this should be like 12. It looks perfect as 12. So I'm going to duplicate this, then select this, select this, select this, and then add auto layout to it. And then change the layout to horizontal, then it should be centered properly. Then I'm going to change this to fill so it can fill the entire container, and we're going to change this to auto. So I want to add one more, and then let's edit it now. So the next one is timeline, and this is 2 weeks, and then this is the year, and this is 2025. So now that we have this, I'm just going to reduce the gap to 20 so it doesn't look too much. I think this looks okay. Let's preview it and see. All right, this is how it looks, although we are going to add more things. So for this, I will just have to, this is the only one that will have like the gap of 20. Then maybe the entire thing should be like 40. Yeah, I think this looks better. All right, I think like there's enough breathing space for everything to work. All right, so for this, we're going to add like an image to this. And this will be our image. This is the image we're going to use here. All right, so this is representing the brand. Hopefully it's still loading. And then, so the next thing that we're going to add now is more description about the entire product. So I'm just going to copy this and paste to replace here. And then change this to auto. So this section is called the hero section. Let's see what we did. All right, so I'm just going to name this to project details. So I'm going to change this to divider. And then I'm going to change this to content. So let me change this to project data. I think I didn't spell that well. So this is the client. And this is the timeline. And finally, this is the year. So now that we have that, this is going to be project image something. And this is going to be the overview, just like what we have here. So I'm going to call this overview. So this should be all caps over view. And then I'm going to turn on, let's delete all of this. Oh no, I think I deleted the wrong thing. I want to delete this, and this. So now that we've deleted this, the next thing is let's turn on the layout grid for desktop. And I just want to add more space to this. So I'm just going to increase this. So I'm going to increase this and then go over to this place and add the text for overview. All right. So the next thing I want to add is like a little preview image of the work that was done. So I'm going to add like a rectangle over here. So I'm going to paste this inside of here. So now I'm just going to select this and add auto layout to it and change the layout to vertical. All right, so the height is going to be hog, and let's select this and okay. So this is going to be this, and then image plus text or text plus image. Let's just name this content instead. Content looks better. So we're just going to call this image. And then I'm going to make this field the entire container. And this, let's see how this looks. 400 looks better. Well, let's try 600 and see. Oh, 600 looks too much. I think 400 looks okay. And then I'm going to give it like corner radius of 12. And then gap of 40. So let's look at how that looks. That came out. Okay, it's still loading. While it's loading, I'm just going to quickly add the photo that we want to have there. So this is the image that we're going to have there. So for this, I'm just going to give this some 480 and see how that looks. Okay, I think this looks okay. So we have that already. We have like the main image and we have like a little sub image. So the next thing that we're going to work on is the challenges. So for the challenges, it's almost similar. So I'm just going to duplicate this and just rename this to challenges. Although there's like few differences. All right, so I'm going to change this to challenges. And then I'm going to go over here and copy the challenges for the particular project, then add it here. All right, so now that we have this is going to be a bit different because I'm going to copy this and paste this inside of here and then delete this entire one. So I just have just this. So what I'm going to do now is select this and this and add auto layout to it. So they are on one roll. So I'm just going to say header plus text. So we want to have like little images here. So I'm going to copy this image right here and I'm going to select these challenges and paste this inside of here. And then we're going to change the view to vertical. So I'm going to duplicate this and then select this and this, add auto layout, and then change it to horizontal layout. And then I'm going to leave this at 20 and then duplicate finally. So now I want it to have like a square kind of like view. I don't like the way it's looking like this. So I'm going to use this. So this is like 3/8. I'm going to use it for each and every one of this. No. That's the height. All right. So I want it to look like this. So, and this distance here should just be 40. Don't take anything much. So I'm going to go over to my file and bring in like the images that we want to add. Yeah, I think three of these images are okay. All right, so this is what we currently have. Let me remove the info up there. All right, so this is what we currently have. So this is more like the project preview. And finally, what we now have is the solution. So for the solution, I'm just going to duplicate this also, but then we don't need these particular screens here. And I'm going to change this to solutions. So this is the solution, and then I'm going to bring in some text for this. So this is the solution, and then next up we're going to bring like a more project section. So I'm just going to go over to the project section, select this, copy this, and come over here and duplicate this and paste to replace. And I'm going to say this is like more work. That's the title of this. So for this, I'm just going to duplicate this and add one more. Then I'm going to select this and this. Oh, let's delete this and just paste to replace. Remember, I selected this, selected this, then hit Ctrl C and then paste to replace. And then we're going to delete this because we don't need it. So we don't need this read more. So this particular one, I'm just going to add, okay, there's already auto layer on this. I'm going to change this to this. All right, so this is what we're looking at. So I'm going to just edit what we have at the top there. So I'm just going to call this more work or more projects. And then I'm going to say explore other projects. All right, so that's basically it. All right, so now we are done with this. So we are left with the mobile view right now. So let me just turn off the grid and see how that looks. All right, so this is basically what we have. And let me see how that looks. All right, we want this to be scrollable. We want them to be a user to be able to scroll this. So I'm just going to select this and then push this down here. And then I'm going to go over to prototype and change this to horizontal. So let's see if that works. All right, so that works. Although I'm going to have like this have like 120 gap. I guess that didn't work. Oh, you know what? Let's change this to few and then change this to 0. So, yep, this is what I was talking about here. So when you scroll, it gets to the end of this and gets to the end of this also. All right, so now that we're done with this, the next thing that we're going to work on now is the mobile view. All right, so it's time to work on, let's make sure that we named everything properly. And I'm just going to close this and close this. Project. All right, we have like 2 challenges. Okay, this one is solution. All right, so I guess we're done with all that. So the next thing we're going to do now is I'm going to duplicate this because we have like almost similar layout. But the only thing I'm going to do is to delete unnecessary places. All right, so now that we have all those places removed, the first thing I'm going to do is to add this. So this is going to be page to replace, and then I'm going to use scale to scale it down to 335. All right, so we have that first, and then I think the next thing is to work on this. So I'm going to select this page to replace, and then we're going to change the layout to a vertical layout, and this is just going to be 20, and then this should be like 24, and this is going to be fill also. All right, so and this is also going to be fill. I'm going to hit enter and change to fill. All right, so this is how it looks. So we have this, and this is just going to be 8. Or let's leave it at 12. So now that we have this, I'm just going to quickly edit this. So this should go to the top here. So we're just going to swap this. So this is client, and this is going to be the client name. So I'm going to double click this, then close this. Then I need 2 more double clicks. Then I'm going to bring in, I need like this button also. and the final. So I'm just going to paste to replace this one, and then this one I'm going to change this to hug, and then add a right icon to this and change the icon, and the text there will be view live project. All right, so now that we have that, the next thing is timeline. Then the timeline is 2 weeks, and then this is going to be the year, and this is going to be 2025. All right, let me try some other approach and see how that looks. So let's try changing this to fill and then changing it to vertical like this, and changing this to auto and see how that looks. I don't think I feel good about this. Or we can as well still leave it at 12 and see. I think I prefer the other one. I just prefer this. I think this looks better. And let's just leave it at 24. So this looks better. And then we have like the image here. Or we might also just have like the image at the middle here and then turn this off. Or this looks better. So now we're just going to work on this section next. So I'm just going to copy this section and then let's duplicate this and select this and paste to replace. And then I'm going to just change this to this and change this to a vertical layout. And this is going to be 20. So you see why it's important to use auto layout. It makes it easier for us. It makes it easy for us to do most of these manipulations or these edits rather. So I'm going to change this to fill. And this, I want this to be in square. So I'm just going to change this to 335. Or we can just change this to 240. And then this is going to be fill also. And top and bottom should be 50. All right, so we're going to duplicate and move to the next. So this is the next. I'm going to paste to replace and then change this to 20, and then this should be 50. And this is going to be a vertical layout, and change this to 220, and it's going to be fill, and this is also going to be fill. And this is going to be a vertical layout. All right, so I guess we are done with that also. Although the top and bottom should be 50. Okay, we'll fix that also. So I'm going to duplicate this, and finally we're going to have this. All right, so this is going to be 20 as usual, and then this is going to be a vertical, and then this one 20. Then we're going to change this to fill, then also select this and also change this to fill. Top and bottom 50, and then finally we're going to make use of this also. So I'm going to duplicate this, paste to replace. And for this, we'll not worry too much because we already have like a mobile version of this particular component. So I'm just going to do this, and then I'm going to hit enter to select everything and then change this to mobile. All right. So although this is mobile, let me try reducing this. Let me try scaling this down to like 320 or something. Yep. And then this is going to be a fill. Let me try to preview this so that I can see if it's scrollable. Let's go to prototype and change the settings, the device settings to iPhone 13 mini. All right, so this is scrollable. So one more thing, I'm going to change this to mobile, and then this too is going to be fill. So now I'm going to work on the text. I think most of the texts are looking too big, so 24 is too much here. I think 16 looks better here, and then same here. We're just going to select this and change this to 16 also. All right, let's make sure everything is intact. Now let's try reducing this to 40 and see how. All right, so I'm just going to go back and change every other one to like 40 also. So we're going to select this also. I don't think we need to stress much about this, but I'm just going to add 40 to it too. All right, so this is what we have next. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much. And so this is currently the work preview. This is what we have for the work preview. So this is the works and this is the work preview. So very soon we're going to do the final prototyping. So stay tuned for like probably 2 more videos or maybe just 1 video, who knows. And then we are going to work on the prototyping to make everything responsive. So this is what we have for the preview. Oh, I'll have to change it back. The prototype settings. I'm just going to change it back to none. No device. All right, so let's go back there. So we can scroll this and scroll this. And then I'm going to go over here. Then, so we're going to preview everything shortly, but let's just keep working on this. All right, now that we are done with this, thank you for staying this far. So in the next video, we are going to work on, let me check. So we are going to work on the blog aspect of the project. So thank you for staying this far. See you in the next video.